Welcome to Whispering Pines Shetland Sheep Farm. Our flock is known for their soft, crimpy, fine wool, produced solely for hand spinners to enjoy. Today we're at the skirting table, preparing another fleece for our annual fleece auction. This video will give you a hands-on look at every possible aspect of the fleeces I am offering in this year's auction. I'll be talking about the quality of the fleece, my recommendations for processing the wool, and I'll share some information about the ewe that donated this lovely fleece. I hope you enjoy today's skirting video. Hello, welcome to the farm. I'm Jen Johnson and I'm here in the back of our barn where I'm doing skirting of all the fleeces from our 2026 harvest. And I am skirting them on video so that you can watch me skirt them and learn all about the fleeces before I go and put them up in my fleece auction up on my website, www.softshetlandwool.com. The fleece I'm skirting in this video is from a ewe called Bristol. Bristol is one of the ewes from the year where we did artificial insemination, and we used a ram from the UK. We purchased semen from a company that worked with our breed association to bring his genetics over here in the form of semen. And then we artificially impregnated the ewes. And Bristol is one of the ewes that came out of that work. And Bristol is, who is her mom? She's out of Ilara. So she is Leighton's sister. So when I took the video of Leighton for the Leighton skirting video, which I already did, those two were sticking together thick as thieves. So I don't really, they're not, the AI ewes is what I call them, all 6 of the ewes that we got from that effort. I call them the AI ewes, or I call them my UK ewes. They've just never really, in my mind, I've never really bonded with them. I don't know why. I don't have a good reason for that. I think it might be, I think I said this before, it might be that, you know, they're not out of our breeding, so it's just kind of, I don't know, kind of weird. So the AI ewes, the UK ewes, see, I do call them, were named after the British football teams, soccer teams. There's some league, I don't know what it's called. Boys will be really mad at me for not knowing that. So all 6 of them have names of teams over there. Bristol is white, big, beautiful fleece, much like her sister. Her spinning fineness is 23.9. Still very nice, very fine. But one thing I will say about her, and it's not as dramatic as it was with Liverpool, but there is a couple things. She's got a very large amount of breech wool. And when it comes off of the breech, even the wool that's under the coat, it is very different from, let's just say, the wool that we would get from up around the neck. I'm going to grab these 2 samples and I want to bring these around and just show you the difference. And this is something that we were expecting. Our breeding program is a little different from, you know, what these rams were generating, and that's absolutely fine. So this is the neck wool, that's the breech wool. So on our sheep, those two are a lot more similar. See, look what I just did. She's my sheep, but I feel like she's kind of an outsider. That's really mean. I feel badly that I feel that way too. So what our plan was going to be was to continue to breed these ewes with our superfine rams to get them closer to what our fleeces are like. But then we decided to stop having lambs. So now I'm happy to offer this fleece to a hand spinner. I think it's gorgeous. I think she's gorgeous. And I'm happy that she's going to find her, you know, I don't say, is that forever home? Is that what we say? She's going to die here. This is her last home before she moves on. It got weird. So that's what I'm going to say about this fleece, is that if you're never bought fleeces from me and you buy this fleece, it's a nice fleece, but it's really not typical. So having said that, if you're somebody that maybe is a little on the fence about working with a super fine fleece for whatever reason, there are valid reasons for that, then this might be a nice fleece for you. All right, so I'm going to go around the perimeter once to get the short, really dirty bits. Those bits are going to go into my soil amendment pool. All the colors go in the same pool of wool, and then that'll go to the mill here locally that's making soil amendment pellets. I'm also going to be a little more aggressive and put some of her britch wool in that soil amendment, because I really don't want this really hairy, coarse wool in with my comb top. This is not the sample. The sample that I showed you of the two compared was britch wool that would be still in the fleece, that would go with the fleece. But when you look at the real britch, the stuff that's going down her legs, I mean, it is literally hairy. This would be a fault in our flock. This would be something that I would have tried to sell to another farm that's not breeding soft shellens, but that would have loved her for the size of her fleece or whatever properties, whatever attributes she has that someone else might find attractive. Two different farmers can look at the same sheep and see two different things. It all depends on their point of view and what they're trying to do. All right, so that is the soil amendment. I'm going to come back now and cut out some of this really hairy britch wool and put that in the soil amendment as well. I like the faces on these ewes. They're very, very white. To me, they almost look like Cheviots, their faces. All right, so this I said is going in the soil amendment. I don't want to forget what I'm doing here. And now I'm going to go around and skirt wool that is not under the coat, that will not be going into the fleece auction, but that will be going into my comb top order. So there are spinners out there that don't want to spin a raw fleece. They want to spin wool that has been already cleaned. That's the main objection to doing fleeces, is just the cleaning. And then what I do for those people is I send this to a mill that will make it into comb top, and not roving. So comb top has an additional step to it where they put it through combs to get it nice and clean and beautifully aligned. And it tends to be the best prep for superfine wool because it does not cause any kind of pilling, or, you know, the fibers don't, they'll bounce back when you put them in for roving. Plus that, this is, if I put these dirty bits like this in the roving, that's actually going to go into the soil amendment. That would come right back into my roving. And you'd have little lumps of very clean poo, which we don't want. What is clean poo? It's like little bits of dusty dirt. Well, my white comb top bag is getting full, which is exciting. Now let's keep going around here. Bristol's fleece. My shearer loves these ewes. The UK ewes, they're bigger, especially the white ones, the ones out of Oberon. So there's not as many nooks and crannies is in relation to the wool where he can just sort of soar across her torso with the clippers. All right, I think that's pretty good. There's stuff there that's got to get taken off. I almost left this. That would not have been very nice. It's not a lot on its own, but in the aggregate, if you leave stuff like that in there, it can add up weight-wise. So we want to be very careful. All right, so here is Bristol's very pretty fleece. I'm not going to pull that out as the example. I'm going to take the example from here, I think. All right, photo time. Still no sheep coming in. I'm gonna have to go chase them in. It's almost 7 o'clock. All right, let's see here. Okay, take a shot from the side. So if I were processing this fleece, I would wash it and flick it or comb it. The staple length is really nice. It's very dense, so it's going to be easy to wash and keep it all together. Now the same thing with pulling out my sample. So if you're taking out a sample, let's say the farmer says, yes, that's fine. They let you do it. So what you want to do, this is what I do, I guess, is grab the tip of the staple that you want to pull out and take a small sample. Don't be taking big hunks. Why am I so mad at you right now? Take a small little sample and put some resistance on it with your thumb and forefinger so that the whole wool doesn't come up with it. You just get the lock. All right, Bristol, let's see what you come up with here. So 3 inches is her staple. I feel kind of bad that none of the girls are coming in for you guys. Okay, so now let's get, let me just take a quick look here and I can show you what her locks looks like close up. It's really white. Not a ton of bounce, but there's some. Now we're going to look at the shearing quality. So on shearing day, my helpers, they are really good and they put a lot of work into making sure that that the fleeces don't get covered in a lot of dirt and stuff. The person that scoops up the fleeces, Chris, is very careful to make sure that she gets it right off of the sheep. Almost falls into her arms, actually. And she folds it up really rapidly and carefully. And then she sweeps the board that the sheep is sheared on right after. There's a lot of this little stuff. So the thing about these ewes, about the UK ewes, is that I rooed them the first year. They had a really nice break. I don't roo them any longer because they're really big. And I don't remember that Bristol had a good break, but she's indicating here to me that just because of all these little bits and pieces that there must have been something happening. She's the first one I'm going to give a not great shearing quality score to. Where's that lock that I pulled off? I'm going to grab a lock from here in the center. I don't see any weak spot, so it's possible she has not hit the rise yet. We sheared on April 4th. It's been a while since shearing day, I'm embarrassed to say. I'm going to discount this fleece. I've already decided I'm going to discount this fleece because I just don't really love. And I don't feel like picking it all off. So I'm going to say discount 50 cents an ounce. My sheared fleeces, I start them at $5.50 an ounce. So this one will start at $5 an ounce. I know it's a lot, but yeah, if you're not familiar with my auction, I do get a good premium for my fleeces. That's all right. I mean, it's the first one in how many? I've done quite a few already. All right, I got that photograph. Now I'm going to roll it up and weigh it. I'm a little bit bummed. So the way I rolled this up, we're going to end up with the neck wool, which is one way. The breech wool is buried underneath here. Underneath the jelly roll that I've created. Even the UK wool smells really good. Get the bag, put the card in, and get the weight. $23.88. All right, well, that's Bristol. So thank you so much for stopping by to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and come back for the next video. I'm going to be skirting another fleece. We'll see what we learn about that particular one.
Thank you for spending some time with me at the skirting table. If this fleece spoke to you, and if you want to be notified when the fleeces are available for viewing on the website, scan this QR code to be taken to my mailing list sign-up form on the website. Or scroll down to the description of this video for a link to the sign-up form on my website. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you can come back soon.